Alright guys, here we are back at the workbench. I've already pulled the bolt out of the Bushmaster. I think by my last round count I was hovering somewhere near 10,000 rounds. So this is probably long overdue. To save a couple of minutes and save you from watching me fumble with these gas rings, I had already disassembled it and taken the old gas rings out. Here are my new rings and my Extractor upgrade kit from Brownells. So we'll go ahead and get started. I know a lot of people like to push this pin out. I prefer grabbing it with a small pair of pliers. Firing pin. Alright, so here we are. As you can tell, it does have a little corrosion on the back of it. Trying to save a few bucks and do a little rebuild of it, like I told you earlier, so you didn't have to watch me fumble. I went ahead and took the new gas rings off. And I will go ahead and take this pin out for the Extractor. Now mind you, I have cleaned this. This cavity had a lot of metal shavings in it that you can see came off the back of the spring. And if you can see as well, you can see how rounded the lip is here that actually grabs the rim of the case. So we're going to be installing a new one of these. This is very simple. I've already fit an O-ring onto it. This is a complete new Extractor. Since it does have the O-ring buffer on it, when you reinstall it, you have to put a little bit more tension on it to get the pin back in. Then I just like to, and this pin has now decided to give me a little bit of a difficult time, so just bear with me just a sec. There we go, went too far. And because of the extra force from that O-ring, you can see it gave me a little bit of a battle. But that's the new Extractor, new spring. It's got the enhanced O-ring on it. So now to put your new gas rings on, just slide them up, get one end started. And just work it around. And just for your information, when I pulled the bolt out, it did fail the test where you set it up like this. And in theory it should stay like that. Mine quite easily just went all the way down. So it was definitely time for this. I think I probably procrastinated on it and didn't do it in the time frame I should have. I think I've read somewhere that they suggest every 3,000 rounds that you start replacing some of these internals, and I neglected to do it. So I guess you could say I maybe had a wee bit of a torture test in doing this. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that occasionally has issue with these, especially after you get two in and the gap starts narrowing where they go. And we're nearly there. And what we're running into now is it's caught in between two of the additional rings. There we go. Now I want you to take note of this and double check this when you do your gas rings. If you can see this, I now have the end of one spring has gotten down in between two of the others. You do not want that. So I bring it out. It'd probably be a little easier if I didn't have that corrosion. And we've done it again. Yay! So what I'm going to do now is just take a quick look around, make sure none of them are overlapping, they're all in the correct place, but I will spin them so that not all three gaps aren't in the same area. I think we've still got an issue with. Another thing you can do is take your fingernail and just drag your fingernail along. So there we have it. We've got the gas rings in, we've done the extractor. So all we're gonna do now is I'm gonna put a little lube on it. Just kind of work it in a little bit. Now we'll start reassembling. When you reassemble, make sure your extractor's to the right side of the bolt carrier. And with the new gas rings, as you can tell, it can be a little difficult. But that's just because everything is tightened up so much, because there's no it's like putting new rings in your car cylinder. So there's that. So we're good there. Now we're back to here. Reinsert the firing pin. And wow, what a difference that has made. I'll finish up with this a little bit later on. While I had it apart, I figured I'm like the last person in the world that wasn't running an oversized trigger guard. So I thought we'd do that real quick while we're here. Press the detent pin on the front of the trigger guard, pivot it down, and you need to take a punch. Drive this aggravating pin out, and there we go. Apologize for the claw hammer, anything I could put my hands on. And you notice on this one I had the gapper in, trying to eliminate that finger pinch. Here's our new mag pull, and the installation is just pretty much backwards of what we had just done. Get in my little goodie bag here. Get a new pin out. Yeah, never claimed not to be a klutz, so. Let's just get this started first. There we go, we got it started. Maybe a little too well. Yep, see it's protruding just a touch. There we go. And there's that part of it. And then last but not least, since you no longer have a detent pin to hold the forward edge, to hold the forward of the trigger guard on, you have to use a set screw. Just get it started in the hole. And there we have it. We've serviced our bolt, replaced the trigger guard while we had it apart, and I hope that showed you a little bit of how aggravating it can be. Just stay calm when you do it. Anybody can do it with a little bit of workspace. So guys, thanks a lot, and we'll see you again. Thank you.